Yo, check it out. Today we're going to be talking about how to know if you've been going too low carb for too long. Now, if you do not get this right, you are going to struggle to burn fat, you are going to struggle to build lean muscle, your sleep is going to suffer, your body's going to be more inflamed, and you're just going to be more miserable overall. So I want to make sure that you get this right. Now, low carb diets are very popular because they're effective. You have things like the Atkins, Paleo, Whole30, the Zone, Schwarzbein principle. The most popular recently is keto. Again, the reason why they're so popular is because they are effective. But just because they're effective doesn't mean that they don't have limitations, and it doesn't mean that they are applicable to everybody and that they're applicable to everybody for, into perpetuity, for the long haul, forever. So I want to make sure that you understand the 4 indicating factors that will show you if you've been going too low carb for too long, so you do not make this mistake. Now, number 1 is if you are feeling mentally lethargic and physically lethargic over a long period of time. So if you have no energy, right? There's a caveat to this because typically when people go low carb, sometimes they don't allow themselves to eat more protein or eat more fat or eat more vegetables, and they need to make up for the calories that they've stripped from their diet with the carbs in order to make up for it with those other things that I just mentioned. So it's important to make sure that if you are going low carb, that you're hitting the calories that you need to hit based on your training volume and where your current body fat is in order to make sure that you can sustain your metabolic processes overall. Okay, number 1, if you're feeling mentally and physically lethargic over a long period of time. Now, excuse me. Number 2 is if you're not building the lean muscle that you want. That's really important. So at RFit, we check in with our clients every 2 weeks to make sure that they are hitting their body fat goal and that they're hitting their lean muscle goal. So if I have a client that comes in and they're looking to build muscle and they're hitting their fat goal, they're hitting their protein goal, and they're hitting their carb goal, but they're not building the lean muscle that I want based on the volume and the protocols that we're putting them through, it may be time to reintroduce some carbohydrates into the diet. But again, if they're not hitting their fat goal and the protein goal, we would go back to that first and then start to think about reintroducing more carbs. So number 1, lack of energy. 2, not building the muscle you want. Number 3 is if you're not sleeping as deeply as you normally do. Okay? Now, this is something I commonly see, and I've seen many times when we start to reintroduce carbs, especially in the evening time, that our clients recover better, they sleep more deeply, they're more energetic, they're able to hit their workouts harder, and it's one of those crazy things because it's very contrary to popular belief. Most people say, oh, you need to have carbs in the morning to make sure that you have energy for the day, when realistically they're more beneficial at night to make sure that your body drops into the parasympathetic nervous system, you relax, you decompress, and when that happens, you're going to sleep more deeply, your growth hormone during the evening hours are going to increase, and that is going to help with the fat loss and the muscle building process. So number 4 kind of ties into number 3, which is if you feel like you're not recovering well, okay? Your body's inflamed, you're sore, your joints hurt, this can be an indicating factor that you may need to increase the amount of carbs in your diet. Again, this is gonna kind of be based on training volume too, how many times you're training per week and the amount of volume that you're doing when you're training sessions. But that's very important as well. So as a recap to all this, number 1 is you're feeling mentally or physically lethargic. Number 2 is you're not building the muscle that you want to build. Number 3 is you're not sleeping as deeply as you normally did. And then number 4 is you don't feel like you're recovering well. Now, qualifying all of that, again, when you do go low carb, you need to make sure that you're increasing your fats, you're increasing your proteins, you're increasing your veggies, depending on your specific body fat and also your training volume and protocol in order to make sure that you're giving your body what it needs. But if you are doing that well, then you can talk about reintroducing some carbs to make sure that you avoid all of the pitfalls that I just talked about. Okay, so I hope this video helped. This is kind of like work overall. The harder you work, the more money you make. The harder you work in the gym, the lower your body fat is, the more carbs you can have. So if you want more carbs, if you want to have a cheat meal, if you want to be, eating more of your favorite foods, then my suggestion would be diligent for a period of time on a low carb diet. And once you get your body fat down and you're working harder in the gym, then you can get there and you can start to eat more carbs and you start to have to eat more cheat meals. A great example of this is when I did my physique competition in 2014. I normally stay between about 6 to 8% body fat. For this, I gained 7 to 8 pounds of lean muscle. I got down to about 4.5. I was eating about 500 to 600 grams of carbs per day, and I was having at least 2 to 3 cheat meals per week. Now, I checked my body fat every single week for 9 weeks up until the show, and my body fat never went down, and never went up during all these cheat meals and during all of this carb consumption, and my lean muscle continued to rise. So again, the 4 things, make sure that you are being wary of those if and when you are going on a low carb diet, and just know that as you get leaner, as you get stronger, as you're hitting the gym more frequently, you can increase the amount of carbs that you are consuming on a day-to-day basis, which makes everybody happier. So I hope this video helped. If you want to know exactly what we would recommend over at AeroFit as far as your protein, your fat, and your carb consumption, simply click the link in my bio. We can then take you through either the Miami Personal Training Quiz or the online personal training quiz, and we will get you set up with a free consultation, and we can dictate all of those things specifically for you. I'll see you soon.